Welcome back, social media friends, and family, and strangers, and acquaintances. And today is a combo video. So I'm too lazy to make two videos. So the two subjects are number one, how I didn't win a ribbon at the Skowhegan Fair up in Maine. And our second subject to follow will be about the power of suggestion. And I'm going to use gas station pizza for breakfast as an example of the power of suggestion. But first, before the pizza, let's delve into some humble pie because that is what I was served cold. Cold leftover humble pie when I went to the fair. Now, I will show you the two pictures that I entered into the fair here. Okay. One being my father's dog, Ida, and the other one of my many basketball hoop pictures. And so, yeah, I had delusions of grandeur going into the fair, talking about how I couldn't wait to pose um, holding my best in show ribbon. How naive I was. Wow. 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 Anyway, so when me and my friend Tom first got to the fair, I know exactly where the photography exhibition hall is, right? But I wanted to keep the anticipation up, so I said, "Hey, let's walk around a little bit. I don't want to go in there yet. I don't want to, because I was still kind of nervous that I wasn't gonna win a ribbon, but I was still like I would say 90% confident that I was gonna come home with something pinned to my chest. Anyway, so I get the nerve and say, all right, let's go in there. I look at the wall, and the first thing I noticed was that at least 75% of the pictures had ribbons. And that's been my experience at at fairs. You know, it's not a participation ribbon, obviously, but it's an amateur competition, and we're here to feel good. And actually, if you enter enough exhibits into the fair, you get in for free. I didn't enter enough. I think you had to be 9 or 10. I only entered in two. So anyway, the first thing I know, and I should have taken a picture of where they put my picture on this wall, but I was too in shock and embarrassed to think of that. Afterwards, my friend's like, "Oh man, you should have took," because I told her the story, and she's like, "You should have took a picture of where it was." That would have been funny to show you here, but I will describe it. But first, anyway, you notice it's just a wall of ribbons, and you're like, and I get excited. Of course, I'm like, oh, and I'm looking for Ida because the first one I went to was animals. I can't find her. I'm like, I thought I was in the wrong section. I really did. I was like, I got nervous. My picture's not here. That's because I wasn't looking on the floor. And I don't mean actual floor, but like if you're looking at a wall, the lowest point in the corner, on the left corner, the lowest, the corner of the wall at the bottom. There's my picture with no ribbon. I even thought it fell off. Like I was like looking on the floor. Did it fall off? It did not. Okay. Okay. I mean, what do I know about photography? I'm a model, right? I'm on the other side, so I mean, I'm come to a la moment here. I'm like, man, I need to get my eyes checked. I don't a lot going on right now. Okay, in my head, and I'm like, I still have to go check and see if my other picture won a ribbon. Which, by the way, I thought my picture of Ida was way better than my picture of the basketball hoop. I have other shots of basketball hoops that I think are even better, but this one I picked because I took it in Maine in like 2 months before, and I don't know, recency bias. Okay, psychology 101. So already in the back of my head, I'm like, "Ugh, I don't think my, and I put it under waterscapes, which I know there's probably going to be some really nice actual waterscapes. And again, low on the proverbial totem pole, physically, was my picture, very low, bare, naked, with no ribbon to cover it. I kind of wish I asked Tom what he was thinking. I kind of wanted to, like, I should have, but I probably, I was, like I said, I was dominating the conversation because I was nervous, because I was in shock, because I was embarrassed, because I felt dumb. Let me tell you, the food didn't taste as good that day. I should have ate before I went to see if I had won a ribbon. I didn't even get the bloomin' onion. It like messed with my fair appetite, which, by the way, I fasted the day before just so I could guilt free eat deep fried, I don't care, at the fair. But my ego ruined my appetite. My want for recognition, validation. If only I had a loving family, I wouldn't have to go through such horrible, demeaning process. Okay, anyway. Let's move along. I probably could do a whole video on the fair and the demolition derby and the wrestling and the merch, the political merch, but I won't. All right, so on to gas station pizza for breakfast. Because I know here in Connecticut, gas station pizza is not a foreign concept. Even though we have the best pizza in the world, or at least the country. Italy might have better pizza, But still here, even where we have, there's a brick oven on every block, okay? Somehow still gas stations and convenience stores, I don't want to name names, can still sell pizza and meat on rollers and other low quality proteins that if you had ever read The Jungle by Upton Sinclair, you would never consume. You would never think to put the thing in your body. Right? So, you know about gas station pizza if you're here in Connecticut with me, and maybe in other parts of the country. You know about it. But do you know about it for breakfast? Do you know about, forget your bacon, egg, and cheese on a hard roll or your bagel with cream cheese or your buttered roll toasted, which me and Joe used to get every day on the way to middle school, walking, because we walked to middle school, uphill both ways. But, it was a couple years ago where I first ran into people in Maine, because I've been spending a lot of summer time up in Maine, getting pizza for breakfast. Like coffee, orange juice, gas station pizza. Like, so it's not like, by the way, the quality of the pizza I don't think is a factor here. It could be Pepe's. I'm not eating it for breakfast. It could be Sally's. It could be Modern. Like, I'm not getting up and seeking that out. Now, if it's left over in my fridge or whatever, that's different, right? That's context. But I'm not getting up, getting into my vehicle, driving to an establishment at 6:30 in the morning, getting my coffee before work and a couple of slices. Because that is what's happening in Maine. And it's not only a couple of slices. There are places there. I don't want to name the name of a place. Can I parody it and kind of... I mean, the name sounds like a parody, actually. Okay. There's this place. I'm gonna kind of name it, but not. Let's call it Seshi's. Now, if you're from Maine, you know who I'm talking about. I'm not saying the real name, but it rhymes. And it's like a gas station / deli that's ready to make pizza for you at 6 in the morning. Ready. There's someone working there. My friend, we were stopping on the way back, I think. I can't remember. It was the morning, and I was like, oh, yeah, they'll make a breakfast sandwich for you in there. Because I'm an idiot. And he went in there, and the lady's like, you want a pizza? and we did see, I did, I don't think he did, but I saw a guy not walking out, not with just like a couple slices off the hot plate that's rotating, right? But like a box, like a whole pizza, ready to go before 7 a.m. And this is where I want to illustrate the power of suggestion, because did the people of Maine rise up and demand pizza for breakfast? No. No. Someone somewhere was like, this gluten-free thing is kind of like messing with our profits. Like, we're not selling as much pizza as we used to. Bob, do you have any suggestions on how we could sell more of this pizza? We've got these warehouses of the dough. Stack it up. Bob, do you have any ideas? Well, Jim, there's the state of Maine. And by the way, this could happen anywhere. Almost anywhere. I kind of want to say we wouldn't do this in Connecticut, but who am I to elevate us? Please. So anyway, the people did not demand pizza for breakfast. It got put in front of them. It got suggested. And that's all it takes. Most people cannot say no to anything. When I was a bartender and a waiter, you think you could say no to me when you're out in front of people in public? Me? No. 99% of you, no. You cannot say no to me. You say yes, you're going to mortgage your whatever to pay for what I am suggesting. So, here's a shout out to my mom and dad who are good people. And you are lucky that I was raised by good people, because imagine if I was like a finance bro or some frat person in marketing. You would all be broke. None of you would have money. But anyway, back to gas station pizza in Maine for breakfast. If they put it in front of you, most of humans prefer what they know. That's why companies advertise. Fast food places, who it's general knowledge that the food is poison, right? It's not nutritious. Like, most of us know that. But some of us prefer it because it's so familiar. That's it. That's the only reason you like it, is because they put it in front of you. And we could talk about free will here, but I won't. Right? You are a product of your environment in some capacity, no matter how much you try to break away. Like, me. I've tried to break away from the environment that I grew up in, which was dumb and prejudiced, and I'm talking about the entire Naugatuck Valley. Sundown towns, shit like that. And if you don't know what that is, well then, read a book. This was supposed to be a funny video, but I don't know. Like, I've done a little too much research on consumerism lately, and I don't know, man. Of course, I can find the humor in it, but it's also hard to not see victims, and feel for them, and feel for people who are just being led around. Blinking light, flashing whatever noise, influencer on social media, who knows what can of whatever. This is why it's important to read, because reading develops the ability to question things. All right.